Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today, I'm starting a series covering some of the basics when it comes to snakes. And a lot of those basics kind of dispel misinformation and myths. So we'll start with probably maybe the most common, at least the top 5 most common myth or misconception about snakes is the pupils. And a question like this one: are pupils reliable in determining venomous or non-venomous? We get this question frequently. We get this question a lot. And it's one of those things that people learn growing up, that venomous snakes have a cat-like or vertical pupil, while non-venomous snakes have round pupils. Well, not quite. So we'll just look at some pupil shapes and we'll talk about it. We'll look at some different snakes. So in this photo, we can see that this tiger rattlesnake indeed has that vertical cat-like pupil. At the top photo, it's very narrow. And in the bottom photo, we can see that those pupils actually dilate, just like any other pupil, humans, whatever. So yes, pit vipers, rattlesnakes, copperheads, cottonmouths. There's pit vipers in South America. There's pit vipers in Asia. They do have the vertical cat-like pupil. However, those pupils can dilate. As you can see here in this copperhead, now it has a round pupil. So right away we find out, what do we find out? So the old myth that, well, venomous snakes always have vertical cat-like pupils and non-venomous snakes have round pupils. Well, here's a venomous copperhead with a round pupil. And here's a speckled rattlesnake with a round pupil. Under certain lighting conditions, the pupil will expand, giving the impression of a round pupil. And then on this timber rattlesnake, the more familiar cat-like slit pupil. And here's another example: an eastern diamondback rattlesnake with its pupil dilated, almost completely covering the entire eye. And here's another timber rattlesnake with some dilation of the pupil going on. So the point is that yes, pit vipers do have that cat-like pupil, but under certain lighting conditions, to allow more light to enter the eye, yes, the pupil can dilate and the pupils will be round. Now we'll take a look at some non-venomous snakes. This is a rosy boa, native to North America. Yes, we have native boas in the United States. This is one of them. And take a look, they also have that cat-like pupil, non-venomous. Rosy boa. And speaking of North American boas, here's a rubber boa, also native to the United States and also has the cat-like pupil, also non-venomous. And then also in North America and Central America, we have the night snakes, which technically are venomous, but they are rear-fanged venomous snakes that are considered harmless to humans. They also have the same cat-like pupils. Now we'll take a look at some venomous snakes that have round pupils. So here's an eastern coral snake, and it's kind of hard to see the pupils on a coral snake, but they are round. There's no slit cat-like pupil there. These venomous snakes are in the family Elapidae, which include coral snakes, cobras, kraits, mambas. You get the picture. All of those snakes have round pupils. Another example, here's an eastern green mamba, highly venomous, native to Africa, round pupil. Again, this is a highly venomous mamba. And since I like mamba so much, here's a western green mamba. A nice picture showing, again, the round pupil. Highly venomous western green mamba. Round pupil. And here's my favorite snake in the entire world, the misunderstood black mamba. And highly venomous. Maybe the fastest acting venom of all venomous snakes. And people have died within 30 minutes of being bitten by a black mamba. But despite how venomous the black mamba is, round pupils. So this just reinforces and reiterates we cannot rely on pupil shape to determine whether a snake is venomous or non-venomous. Research does suggest that most snakes that have the vertical cat-like pupils are ambush predators, and this allows them to see their prey movement from a distance so they can track which direction the animal is headed. Now, snakes that are active hunters, daytime, mostly active hunters such as racers, coach whips, etc., have round pupils. So pupil shape is most likely more related to how a snake hunts its prey than anything else. So the lesson today is no, pupil shape does not determine whether a snake is venomous or non-venomous. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please share this video. Post it on Facebook. Post it on X. Whatever. Help me spread education and help me put an end to the myths and the misconceptions.